Welcome back, everybody, to Cool Times Podcast, where we talk all things cool about the cold storage construction industry. Joining me today is my business and life partner, my wife, Jenna Free. My name is Vince Free, and today we have an awesome guest from the Midwest, just like we are. Yeah.
Yep. Midwest love.
Yeah. Over 10 plus years experience, Associate Vice President of Industrial Services with Epstein Global. Ladies and gentlemen, Jon May.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, excited to be part of the chat.
Yeah. So, Jon, tell us a little bit about yourself and Epstein. And I mean, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah.
Who's Jon May?
You bet. Yep. Who is Jon May? Great question, right? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I've been in the business for 10 years now. Right out of school, started on the client side. So actually worked for Mars Chocolate, had 3 great years there, working with R&D, project management, construction, really learned a lot. And then through that, realized my passion was in construction. So now for the past 7 years, been working in design build, been with Epstein now here just over 5 years, and really enjoyed being part of that experience where you can see the fruits of your labor, right? You can see the building, you can see the equipment, everything going together. And so, really now in my role here at Epstein, I'm part of, upper management discussions to shape the future of the firm. It's really excited. Really happy to be here talking to you guys and, collaborating in the industry.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so Epstein as a company, we've been around over 100 years. Actually, it's 101 years as of this year. Got a little book.
Oh, look
here,
at that.
Story,
That's awesome.
100 years.
The Epstein
Right?
story.
That is so cool.
Who wrote
Epstein
that book?
story. We started out as a small firm, right, and have now grown into every single discipline, construction being our biggest, area of expertise. And, we even have a process engineering group where we're able to manage the project, what a lot of clients call full turnkey, right? So 100% of the project is going to us, managed by us. We're not, hiring anybody else. Everyone's, under our umbrella. So architects, engineers, even like I said, process engineering who are buying the racking, buying the automation. We can truly do everything all in-house and hand over the product. Exactly. So I'm really excited because that's why I came here. I came to Epstein because I wanted to get into a company that specializes in complicated projects and can really, take on all that ownership, because the more that we own, the easier it is for us to manage the job and the easier it is for the client, right?
Well, yeah, it gives them like a one-stop shop for those types of projects. Like if you are managing all of that, you take so much weight off of your customer then,
Oh my gosh, right. And their job is to manage on what they do best, right? And to run their business. And so we've found all of our repeat clients, they love that, hey, this is your wheelhouse, a person that's going to be able to leverage your relationship, to get the switchgear, right? And to get the equipment going. I mean, we own that. We do that. We know what the market is doing, right? We know pricing, we know lead times. So let us, manage that. And you guys then focus all your efforts on innovations, on, improving your business and improving your distribution network, right? So it's a good relationship.
Yeah, back in the day, I say back in the day. Back in the day when I was selling them cold storage doors, Chicago was my territory, and I'd go downtown Chicago, and I know we were talking about this off air, Jon, but I would go to your office and do like architectural presentations to your whole company. And at the time, I thought you guys were just an architectural firm. Were you, or were you always doing construction?
We were always doing construction, but we've been doing architectural and, structural engineering and, MEP engineering for a lot longer than our construction, right? Construction came on later. I believe it's design build for us started in like 1950 something.
Yeah, I wasn't around.
So there was.
Well, I feel like maybe like a little sales 101 here, like know your customer.
You're not
like
wrong.
You didn't know?
You're not wrong.
Interesting.
No.
Well, maybe the architects weren't selling construction, right? So, it is what it is.
Well, the architectural piece is big in our industry, and that's what people
True.
understand and learn, because we've had a couple architects on the show as of late, and it's great hearing that side of the story, because it all starts with design. It all starts with the planning of that, the specifications, what you're doing. We as a company, we bid jobs every day, and 9 times out of 10 there's no specs, but then there's specs. You got to read the specs, and it's very specific as to, what type of instant metal panel are you going to use? Okay, what type of cold storage door, FRP door, and you guys are dealing a lot in the food industry. So, cleanability and stainless steel and FRP is a big deal. And even as far as the hardware for mounting the product, right? Stainless steel, are you using nylon, no wood construction, you want HDPE or plastic lumber, like all that stuff is in there, and all that stuff costs money, right? So,
Oh yeah.
if you have a subcontractor that bids a job wrong and they're not clear, you're going to step on a rig pretty quick by not bidding it right and understanding the specs.
Sounds like you talk from experience.
Oh, we've all had those fun experiences,
Oh,
right?
I'm sure.
We call those learning experiences, Jon.
Yes. We love lessons learned meetings, don't we?
Oh, yes.
Lesson learned meetings are great, and I think that's something that we don't do enough of. We
Mm.
do some, I mean, we do it, but we don't do it enough, and that's something that I think all companies could do. Where after a project, you sit down and you roundtable it. Okay, where did things go wrong and why? But it's also important to talk about your victories too.
Mhm.
Why did we succeed here and here and here? But I think that's something that every company could probably do.
Well, recap it. Yeah.
And recap it more. Are you guys doing that on a regular, or you find yourself off and on doing it?
Just like you brought up coming back to our office, right? It's the irony is great, right? I was just talking to a repeat client yesterday about lessons learned. So like, it's been a decent while. I don't want to admit how long since the job was done, but there's future stuff coming up. And I reminded him, I was like, hey, we need to sit down and talk about the things that went really well and the things that we want to improve upon, because nobody's perfect.
Mhm.
We went through a project during, the pandemic, which had its other share of challenges, right? That, are we were all figuring it out, right, as it was going on. But again, we want to get better, right? And things are constantly changing. We look at the market and what we're dealing with now. So I was really happy to solidify that, to be coming up here in March with them. And so that's why it was funny that we brought it up. So we're the same as you guys. We wish we would do more of them, but clients are busy, we get busy, sometimes it doesn't happen.
That is
right?
the challenge, right? Because it's all about like getting the project done, meeting the deadlines. And then everyone, probably has another project or another,
Sure.
or they have to, work on the facility they just, finish.
We're all
So
so busy planning and trying
exactly.
to
So it is hard, like you said, to coordinate schedules and get everyone, together on that. But that's awesome, especially with your repeat customers, that you can have those conversations and move forward together in those lessons learned.
Oh yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm going to keep preaching that, right? Because that's what we need to do. We need to be able to sit down and take that time and move forward and be more efficient and collaborate more, right? Because we get sucked into all the different things that we do on a day-to-day basis, that we just kind of have to take a step back, right? It's like I remember, like 8 years ago, I was doing work, in the Netherlands, and it was my first experience where somebody was like, no, leave your computer there, go over here, have a cup of coffee with me, and let's just talk, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
being only 2 years or something at school, I was like, what do you mean we're not going to keep, doing this? Like, oh no, we're going to have a conversation, right? Trust me, it'll be fine. Work will still, keep going, and you'll get back to it. So I try to remember that, as much as I can, right? Is to take that step back and reflect,
For sure.
Mhm.
For sure. You're in a unique position because you worked for an actual end user, right? So you worked at Mars and big company, and then you being in R&D and construction and having that opportunity to possibly look at general contractors, get bids from general contractors, have them perform work, and you're in the weeds on that. That's unique for you now that you are in that role as a GC. So from an end user standpoint, what do you look for out of GCs, and what's attractive? What do they do well that you look for? What do you try to avoid? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I like people that are able to toggle between, the high level, right, and the weeds. I think that's very important because coming from the end user side, and like we talked about before, they need to be able to focus on their business, right? And what drives their business forward and their profitability, as a company. So I like to talk to people that have that, that mindset. And then when things really need to, get detailed, that they are, proficient in all the different areas, right? In cold storage in particular, I mean, it's very, very unique from a lot of other submarkets, right? It's got its niches and you can't just like walk right into this industry, right? You don't even, I think, really get a good baseline of this in school, right? I think you learn about all these details once you're in the industry and you're talking to people who have been doing it for, again, more than 10 years, right? And learning from the, small mistakes so you don't make the big mistakes. I think that's important is, everyone has to start somewhere, but in this industry in particular, you want to see that track record. You want to see that you have that. And again, it goes back from someone who has that high level mindset, but also understands the details in the technical aspects. I think that's important because if you talk to someone, your typical engineer, right, who gets too involved in those details, they might miss, the big picture of like, well, you said it was this many air changes. It's like, no, but we're not going to be doing that, in the winter, right? It's like I don't need to be heating 6 air changes in the winter, so it's kind of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, so talk about that. Climate is a big, location where you're building a building is a big deal too, right? I mean, are you building a building in, South Florida? Are you going to build it in the Midwest and you got to deal with different type of snow loads? You're dealing with hurricanes and talking structurally. I mean, that's a whole nother ballgame too. So I can get in the weeds on all this stuff, but
Yes, you could.
Epstein going like, I mean, global in your name. How global are y'all?
Oh yeah, so it's a valid question, right? So we had a office in Romania that's no longer part of our company. Now it's just in Warsaw, Poland. So really, if you look at that skyline, we've designed that whole skyline, and right now we're doing a project that is a design build project in Poland. So our construction arm does reach outside of the U.S., but the majority of our work is in the U.S. and that's our specialty. We're licensed, I think, right now in 48 states, right? But it's just because
Impressive.
someone calls me up and wants to do a job in Hawaii. I mean, sign me up, right?
Man, John, I'm in.
Haven't right? I mean, come on.
Yes,
But
sir.
no,
Especially
we
in
truly,
the winter in the Midwest.
oh gosh, right? Come January here in Chicago, you want to go to anywhere warm, right? So no, it truly is global design build, but we're also very good at telling our end users and our partners what's not a good fit, right? So we're very good at looking at a situation, and we've had opportunities come up in Mexico recently, and we've done design only because we told the client, hey, this is better suited for someone local. More than we're happy that you asked us to look at it as a full project, but it just makes more sense based on the criteria and the size of the job that we'll just do the design. But then we're also a good source of them. We're a good sounding board on the construction side. They can come to us about, oh, I mean, this is $12 a square foot. This seems too high, and then we can have that conversation with them and become a good partner from that standpoint. So when you hire us for just architecture, just engineering, I mean, you're still getting the full opinion of the company, right?
So do you want to ask your favorite question now? I feel like it's a good time for that one.
I mean, I was going to ask it, but I
kind of feel like you answered it, but I feel like you should still ask
it's a good segue, and I will ask it because I started in the business development side too, and the sales side in the industry, and sales is fun for me. It's a challenge, but my most rewarding part of that is relationship and the people. And so I got to ask you, John, people that are listening, they're like, okay, Epstein Global, they're a general contractor, design build. They have a lot of capabilities and self-disciplines under their umbrella. Big company. You guys do a lot of work. Why would someone buy from Epstein Global or buy from Jon May?
Oh, great question. Yeah, so I would say the reason why is because you are talking to, our slogan is building on experience, right?
Mhm.
So we have experience in so many different areas. We're only, touching one area, right? Which is what I specialize in, industrial. But we have, massive departments for commercial, transportation, public. I mean, we're doing constantly work for the airports here, for the tollway, you name it. So you're picking us because you may just be talking to me, but behind the scenes, I'm leveraging all of that experience, all of that knowledge. There is no ego, right? At Epstein, there isn't anybody trying to prove themselves, and so we're definitely a team, and so we're constantly collaborating about things, and we're constantly brought into random discussions about other projects, and it's nice to get that perspective, because
Yeah.
it affects my day to day too. And when I talk to clients, I now have a broader understanding of all these different submarkets, and I think that's really the differentiator. Like, we are so diversified, and because of that, it's helped us as a company, and it's also helped us to get better in our own categories, right? Because
Mhm.
we're learning so much from all those different areas.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge value add when you can bring, put all of that experience together. That's a huge value add for customers.
So
And
yeah.
I was gonna say, and I was gonna make a joke. So, I was saying in the very beginning that, we are a one-stop shop, right? And everybody, it's all under our umbrella, right? So I'm not getting on the phone and potentially, giving somebody a hard time because my engineer's in Florida, right? It's like, no, I'm walking downstairs and I'm giving him or her a hard time. Be like, look, don't overcomplicate it, or you name it, right? It's like,
Face
so
to
you get to
face.
have that kind of, exactly. You get to
Dude,
have
and your
that
office ain't
banter, which I
small.
think
I've
is
been in your
nice.
office. Your office, you guys got a big office downtown.
Takes a little bit to walk there, right? It's good location.
How many employees y'all have now?
Oh man, it's over 200, in the space, and
Percentage
I
of
don't think
business.
that's including the field.
So percentage of business you guys are doing, what percentage of it is cold storage or food processing right now?
Oh, I'd say we're about getting close to half, right?
Wow.
I
Okay,
think
great.
I mean, we do have a long history in food,
Oh
food
yeah,
and beverage, food
true.
processing.
I've done a couple of catering
So,
jobs at y'all.
right, so like we know the complicated stuff. It's we make complicated, I think, look easy, and so we're leveraging that experience and trying to help. And we've gone into all different types of sub markets here in the past 2 years, because again, with how the things changed in 2020, we were diversified, and we kept going in other areas. But food's always been constant, and there's always been a cold storage aspect to that.
It's really good. I mean, you're very insightful as your operation, and
Yeah.
obviously it shows you guys are a badass company and doing badass work.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
let's talk details. Let's talk cold storage and thermal, and you have cold storage and thermal experience, years of it. Jen and I talk about it every day because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Let's talk technology. So what do
Sure.
you like from a technology? You can go anywhere with this question. Technology, cold storage and food processing. What do you think is going to be like the breakthrough technology in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, obviously, people are always looking for something different, something innovative. I think the way things are trending right now is labor is so tough, right? They're having a hard time keeping labor and just making that consistent. I think more automation is definitely going to be the future. I mean, ASRS is, and the walls attached to the racking, and just, the fully automation. I mean, I think you're only going to see that more and more and more. Also, I think you're going to see more of the low oxygen. So there's really no active fire, protection. I think that's something that I've been seeing
I
more, and
always
I
thought
think
that was
that's going to
wild,
keep
by the way.
trending.
Yeah, the low oxygen rooms are wild.
Right? I
Not
mean,
enough oxygen in the room for a fire to start. So you don't need a fire system, right?
Wow.
So do you need, I'm being naive here, do you need to, can a human being walk in that room and breathe, or do they need some type of, do they got to suit up to go in a room like that?
yeah, I believe there is very specific criteria. Again, I'm pretty sure you do have to wear gear when you get to a certain elevation, right? So there's definitely that part of it. But I think when you look at it holistically and you're weighing your ROI and all that, fun stuff, I'm seeing that definitely trending, that you're going to be seeing more of that. But I think the great thing about cold storage too, though, is everyone is so collaborative, right? So everyone's always constantly talking. I mean, I've been involved, in cold storage in one way or the other ever since I started. But just now recently been, just more dedicated, more involved, getting started with, some committees. And it's great to see just really quick all the collaboration from all the different types of, end users, firms, competitors, right? And everybody's just trying to improve the submarket, right? So I'm really happy to see that. I mean, are you guys, what are you guys seeing, I guess, as far as trends too? I'd love to hear what you guys are seeing from that perspective.
Yeah.
I mentioned a couple.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, along with automation, I mean, the low oxygen rooms, those are huge for us because we deal more specifically on the thermal side. Buildings are getting taller, panel spans required longer, spans. Honestly, it's, back in the day, a 48-foot panel wall was tall and it used to be 36.
True.
And now it's, they're going to 55 as a standard or 56 as a standard for like, max height of an insulated metal panel. And, that's an extra, cost and freight. So you need a special, freight load to ship a panel that long. And these manufacturers they're getting bigger, they're getting smarter. They're making panels 70 feet long now, a single span, and which adds more complications for installation. It's not only slower, but now you need different panel lifting equipment and machines on how to lift it because you can't just lift it in the middle. It's a buckle, right? Stack joint buildings are getting taller, right? So land is expensive and also getting hard to get per se in the next 10 years. So building out costs more money because land costs money. You build up. I mean, the government hasn't found a way to tax this building up yet.
Building up, yeah. So we're gonna keep going up.
I'm telling you, yeah. So that's what I see from the high-speed door side. I think the air door technology by HCR is badass. I think, if you have an application where people are going in and out, in and out, in and out, air door technology is huge. Rytech continues to come out with, the cleanest, roll-up door, the fastest high-speed roll-up door that's insulated. I mean, that technology is only going to get better. There's other great high-speed door companies out there that also provide clean room doors and high-speed insulated doors. So don't all get mad at me for not mentioning your name, but they're out there. Rytech is just a sponsor of us. That's why I can say their name whenever I want. So yeah, I think that's what we see for technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think too, it made me think of it. There's just more people are so more, knowledgeable now. Like, I can look back 10 years ago. I mean, people didn't understand the requirements, I think, as well as they do now, right? Time has passed and people have gotten more educated and they truly understand the importance of design criteria when it comes to thermal design and then food grade design, right? I mean, I'm talking to more and more even subcontractors, right, that truly understand the importance of like, well, no, I don't get like, I don't want to make fun of roofers, but roofers tend to be like, I don't get it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I always do. Why are you doing something that's more expensive? It's like, well, yeah, I know it's more expensive, but it's required. Like, this is why. And like, we're educating still some people, but I'm not having to do that as much as before, which is nice.
You mentioned that you've been in the construction industry basically for the last 10 years, if not your whole career, and working in cold. So why don't we go to our sponsored moment by our friends at Vapor Armor for sponsoring our cool moment, and share with us maybe a cool story or cool experience that you've had so far in your career that really stands out that you want to share with our listeners.
One experience that really, shines bright is because we're design builders and we get to be upfront and design, as a builder and keep that in mind. It's good to really, like I said, see the fruits of your labor at the end of it. But also, we make construction fun. And when I've been out in the field and even now I try to get out in the field as much as I can to be involved still, because that's where my passion is. But I've been involved in massive, tank silo rigging, right? And really like also help, push that tank like in its final location. And so just being part of that and having the owner be part of that, right? And just be that team. To me, that's the coolest thing. And now you see it again with, refrigeration units going on top, and they've got cool, modular units now, right? And all that.
Helicopter fly-ins.
Right. It's the cool stuff, right? I mean, that's what I'm passionate about, and being with the owner in those steps along the way, those milestones, right? The projects have all those big milestones, and you get to check them off, and you kind of keep pushing the job forward, right? And so me, I think that's always the coolest moment, is involving the client in those milestones and having fun with something that is, pretty intense, right? I mean, we safety is number one priority. And so, we're very diligent. We go through everything, but we're still, because we're so good at what we do, we can have fun, right, while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Epstein set up are you guys going to all the food and beverage and food process, PAC expos, trade shows, CEBAs, IRWs? What conferences or trade shows or associations we find you attending?
Yeah. So again, because we're so diversified, right? I mean, I feel bad. I couldn't give you probably all the different things we're going to be attending, right? Because we're so heavy in architectural and aviation and public and all that. But what I can speak to in particular is, like last week we were at IPPE, which is the massive protein, red meat poultry expo in Atlanta. So we were down there last week. Yeah. We're at Process Expo, we're at PAX Expo. I'll be at IARW, CEBA. We're even at controlled environment agriculture stuff. So National Cannabis Summit is coming up, and so we'll be part of that. We really touch all those submarkets. So if there's an expo or a summit of some kind, we're most likely going to see you there.
Dude, that's a lot of conferences and associations, and you named off a ton of them. A lot of them I've been to, and they're awesome. I mean, those are very some heavy hitters there. I like that.
Good.
I want to be cognizant and respectful of your time here. So where can our guests and listeners find Epstein Global, and or how do they get in touch with Jon May if you want to?
Yes.
Spill the tea on your email and sell? You can. You don't have to, but how can we find you?
Yeah, so we are huge presence on LinkedIn, right? So we're constantly keeping people update there. I'd say that's a majority of it, but we're also, our website is very active. We're constantly updating it with, company news, staff news, project, updates. So really, if something isn't being found on LinkedIn, right, because you're just not keeping up with the posts, I mean, go to our website. You'll see all the different things we do. It's easy to navigate. No issues there, but also more than happy to be a point of contact for anybody, right? So even if you don't have anything going on in industrial, feel free to shoot me a line. It's easy, jmay@epsteinglobal.com, right? So let me know. More than happy to connect you with whoever, or talk about however whatever's on your mind. So we're pretty collaborative group, right? So we love just sharing opinions, and even pointing you to the right way. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about going to these expos that we've been talking about and different things, is I also don't mind just people coming up and having a good conversation, and I realize, oh, you definitely should go talk to this person, great company, and they'll take care of you. And that's what also got me from operations to business development now, is I have a lot of that experience being an end user and being in a lot of different types of projects, but now I get to share that, right? And I get to share my experience with people that I had a guy asking about water filtration, and I was like, well, no, we are design builders, so we don't we're not going to talk, but I know a guy here. Here's his number, like, you give him a call and he'll. So I've really enjoyed being able to do that.
Yeah. Helping someone out, helping someone find the answer, connecting people. Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah. We'll drop your website on the show notes for our show. We are getting to the last part of our segment where I get to ask you this or that questions, and the audience really gets to learn who Jon May is.
Rapid, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's our rapid cool round question, sponsored by Vapor Armor. before I get into it, man, I've been dying to ask this question. I'll show you got some sick flow, my friend. So if you're watching this on our YouTube, you got some good. Is that hockey? You play hockey?
I didn't play. I played lacrosse. I mean, I don't know, maybe
Okay.
Max Pro, right?
There you go. Lacrosse. I was gonna say, man, you got the hockey hair going. The wings. We call that lettuce. Where I come
Lettuce.
from. Hockey.
There you go. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I tried so hard to grow my hair out, and I get like a little bit longer, and Jenna's like, "Yeah, cut it. What are you doing?"
Not happening.
You have to learn how to like style it right. Like
I wouldn't look good in long hair. You look great, Jon, in long hair.
Thank you.
I
Hey,
don't pull it off.
I'm feeling great. I'm going in this weekend on a high note now.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it.
Very few times I get to be jealous of someone's hair on our show. Okay. I'm jealous of your hair. All right. All right. Wrap around questions. Jon, you ready? And you got to say one or the other. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to really just ask you random questions and I'm going to learn about you a little bit here. Okay. What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Laundry, for sure.
Jogging or hiking?
Hiking.
Shoes or sandals?
Shoes.
Burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
Money or free time?
Ooh, free time.
There you go. Toilet paper roll, over or under?
Definitely over. 100%.
Thank you.
Like not even a question. Like
one of his favorites.
Not even debate.
It's not even a debate, man. It should be a manual. It's taped on the wall.
I hear you.
Think about the physics. Come on.
Let's engineer this for a second.
Exactly. Yeah, let's mark it up.
Exactly. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Cold drink or cold beer?
Cold beer.
Are you ammonia refrigeration guy or a Freon refrigeration guy?
Ammonia.
Ground up or a box and box construction?
Box and box.
Yeah, I love
That's his favorite too.
Love a good box and box this
You
time of
do.
year. All right, Jon. Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Oh, JT, man.
Oh, there we go.
He's only saying it like that because he's my age. They're the same age. Got it. Dude, that's awesome. Well, dude, you survived the this or that questions, man.
Yes.
Congrats.
Okay.
Over.
All right. Good.
Dude, that was awesome. Do you have anything else you want to add for our guests? Talk about anything? Did we leave anything out that we need to talk about?
No, I appreciate the time. Again, always open to collaborate and give opinions to anybody. So always feel free to reach out. And really excited to see where this industry is going. There's so much potential for so many people that I think it's key for everyone to be sharing their experiences and their insights. And that's why it's great that you guys have this platform. So really appreciate you letting me get on here.
Yeah, we clearly have fun with it. Yeah,
we do.
And we need, and for all the listeners out there, we do appreciate your help and support spreading the word on LinkedIn is probably our biggest way to spread the word, but you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. In LinkedIn, we do a little 30 or 60-second clips of the show, but to listen to the full show, Jon, you can simply go listen to it on your iPhone podcast app, subscribe to the Cool Times podcast, and find us on YouTube on Cool Times.
Please.
Hit the red subscribe button, spread the word, spread the love. We appreciate you guys. Jon, thank you so much. Epstein Global, building on experience. I love it. Dude.
Congratulations on 101 years.
Yeah, 101 years.
There you go. All right.
All right. Well, thanks, Jon. And then until next time, y'all, we appreciate you and we will see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.